I developed a goal setting framework after reading this book that completely changed my life, and in this video I want to share it with you. This is the framework that helped me make the shift from always feeling like I was behind on my goals and feeling unsure about whether I was even going to achieve them to feeling confident about the direction that I was moving in. But before we get to that framework, if you're new here, my name is Jorge Calaos. I'm a business lawyer based in Florida specializing in high stakes lawsuits, and in this channel we explore the principles and the strategies to help us live more productive, meaningful, and fulfilling lives. Now, the big concept that I learned in this book is the concept of lag measures versus lead measures. The lag measure is the outcome that you want to achieve, and the lead measure is how you get to that lag measure. And so the lag measure by definition lags. So what does all this mean? The best way to explain it is with some examples. So in the fitness space, a lag measure might be that you want to look good, you want to feel good, you want to be fit, you want to be healthy, you want to have a six-pack. That could be the lag measure, the outcome that lags and eventually comes. The lead measure would be that lag measure broken down into specific steps to achieve that lag measure. And so to get a six-pack, you have to be at a certain percentage body fat, and you know that in order to do that, you have to do certain things. Those things could be, limiting carbs. They could be eating healthy generally. They could be taking your supplements. They could be working out 5 days a week, etc. Those would be the lead measures. The lead measures would be working out 5 times a week, ensuring that you're operating at a calorie deficit every day for, 3 months. Obviously, this all depends on where you are in your fitness journey, but those would be the lead measures. Generally speaking, in the fitness industry, the lead measures are what you eat and how you exercise. And depending on your current situation, it could be exercising a certain number of days a week, eating a certain kind of food, sticking to a certain kind of diet, operating at a calorie deficit for a certain period of time, etc. Another example is in business. The lag measure could be that you want to make $1 million a year in your business. Or for the sake of this example, let's make it easier. Let's say that you want to make $1 million this year in your business. And so to find the lead measures, you want to take the lag measure and break it down. So if you want to make $1 million a year, let's say that your product is $1,000 per purchase, and let's say you have a closing rate on the phone of 15%, and let's say that out of however many people you call on the phone, a certain percentage of those set up a call with you later on so you can actually pitch your product to them. And so you do the math and you figure out, okay, I have to make this number of phone calls because I know on average this percentage of people is going to book a call so I can show them the product, and out of those people that I have booked a call with to show my product, a certain percentage of those are going to end up buying, and on average they're going to buy $1,000 worth of the product. And so I need to make this number of phone calls in order to make $1 million this year. And so what that does is that instead of focusing on this number that you can't really control, you can't control $1 million a year, you can't control if other people give you their money. Instead of focusing on what you cannot control and putting all your efforts into what you cannot control, you are putting in your efforts into what you can control, which is the amount of times that you pick up the phone. But because you've worked it backwards from the lag measure to the lead measure, the number of times that you pick up the phone is directly correlated to the lag measure of how much money you're going to make. But it is so much easier when you are focusing on the lead measure. It is something that you control. It is something that is measurable. It is something that is specific, and it is something that is achievable, right? It is achievable that today I can make 20 calls. But if I set a goal of making $1 million this year, and after 1 month I've only made however much money, it feels so far away. That $1 million feels so far away, especially if the growth that I'm going to achieve it's exponential, and I'm not going to see the growth for until month 6 or 7. And so when you can break down the lag measure into the lead measure, and you can just focus on what is it that I have to do today, that I've already broken down the outcome that I want, and I've said, okay, this is what I have to do today to eventually get that outcome. You can just focus on doing that thing today as best as you possibly can, instead of worrying about this giant goal that you have that looks honestly a little bit intimidating. And also, you're focusing focusing on the things that matter, because you're focusing on the things that are going to lead you to the outcome instead of focusing on the outcome without knowing how to even get there in the first place. And so once I read about this and once I understood this, it completely changed the way I look at goal setting as a whole. Because instead of setting goals like make $1 million a year or have six-pack abs, I'm setting monthly, weekly, daily goals of the actions and the behaviors and the habits that I have to engage in to get those outcomes. So I'm not even focusing on the outcome. So I'm not overwhelmed by the outcome or by the fact that I'm not achieving or that I don't have the outcome yet. I'm fine because I'm focusing on what is it that I have to do today that I already figured out will eventually lead me to the outcome that I want. And so this is very much in line with something you might have heard of, which is SMART goals. SMART goals is a goal setting framework where SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. And so as far as making our goals specific, because we want our goals to be specific, we don't want them to be vague, because if they're vague, we don't know if we're achieving them. We don't know how close we are to achieving them. We don't know anything. So we want them to be specific. And so when we take the lag measure and we break it down into lead measures, our goals become much more specific. They also become much more measurable. They also become much more achievable. They also become much more relevant because they are the things that are going to lead you to the thing that you want. And as far as time bound, they are also more time bound because you're breaking them down into what do I have to do this week? What do I have to do this month? What do I have to do today? And so that one thing from this book completely changed the way I set goals. There's a bunch of other cool stuff in this book, like obviously the second one is acting on the lead measures as opposed to the lag measures, but there's also focusing on the wildly important, keeping a compelling scoreboard, and creating accountants of accountability. This book is phenomenal if you want to take a look at it, but that one concept is a concept that hit me instantly when I read it, and I've carried it with me ever since I've learned it, and it's completely transformed the way I set my goals and the way I achieve my goals, because the better you set your goals, the more likely you are to achieve your goals. Now, if you like this video, I think you'll also like this video right here on why you never finish what you start and how to fix it. And as always, if you enjoy this content, make sure you join the community, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment letting me know what you liked and what you want to see more of. And if you want even more resources, check out the link in the description box below that will take you to my website and where you can download your free copy of the 4-Step Morning Routine, a quick start guide to high performance and peace of mind. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video.